Have you ever noticed how the smallest things in life can sometimes have the biggest impact? A quiet word from a friend, a daily routine we've followed for years. Even something as simple as a cup of tea in the morning or how we sit while reading the paper. For many of us after 65, these little habits become comforting rhythms, like soft footsteps guiding us through each day. But here's something we don't often stop to ask. Are all these habits still serving us the way they used to? Doctors are starting to speak up, not in alarming tones, but with quiet concern about one particular habit that seems innocent on the surface. Something many of us do without thinking. A habit that, over time, might be doing more harm than good. And it's not about sugar or salt or skipping your walk. It's even more subtle than that. Let's talk about long periods of sitting. Yes, just sitting. Now, before we brush that off, let me share a small story. Irene is 72. She's been retired for almost a decade now. Every morning, she wakes up early, fixes herself a lovely breakfast, and settles into her recliner with a crossword puzzle. Later, she might watch her favorite cooking shows, chat with her sister on the phone, or spend time knitting. Before she realizes it, it's mid-afternoon, and she's barely stood up. She's not being lazy. She's enjoying her retirement, her peace. But there's a hidden risk quietly growing beneath this comfort. And Irene isn't alone. Paul, her neighbor, is 68. He's quite active, but only in short bursts. He plays a bit of golf once a week and does some grocery shopping. But in between, it's a lot of time on the couch, reading the news, scrolling his phone, or catching up on old movies. Just like Irene, his days are mostly spent sitting. Doctors now say that extended sitting, especially in older adults, is being linked to a range of health issues. From increased blood pressure and poor circulation to joint stiffness, slower metabolism, and even cognitive decline. The habit isn't the sitting itself, it's the length and frequency of it. It's time we gently shine a light on this, not to alarm you, but to empower you. Because changing this one quiet routine may do more for your health than you. When you hear the term sitting disease, it might sound dramatic. But more and more physicians and researchers are using this very phrase to describe what they're seeing, especially in older adults. In recent years, studies from the Mayo Clinic, the American Heart Association, and several global aging institutes have raised an eyebrow. They show that adults who sit for more than 7 to 8 hours a day, without frequent movement, may face a significantly higher risk of health complications, even if they exercise regularly. That's right. Even if you walk every morning or go to the gym twice a week, it doesn't fully cancel out the effects of sitting for long, uninterrupted periods. Here's why this matters after 65. As we age, our circulation naturally slows, our muscle mass decreases, and our bones become more fragile. When we sit for too long, blood tends to pool in the legs, oxygen flow to the brain slows, and our metabolism can stall. Over time, this can contribute to heart issues, diabetes, memory lapses, and increased fall risk. Think of it this way. Your body was made to move. Not to be in constant motion like a 20-year-old running a marathon, but to engage gently, often, and consistently. Movement tells your body, I'm still here. I still want to thrive. Doctors like Dr. Elizabeth Frades from Harvard University have pointed out that regular movement throughout the day is even more important than one single intense workout. It's about consistency, not intensity. Let's look back at Irene. After a recent doctor visit, her physician asked her a simple question. How often do you stand during the day? Irene thought about it and realized the answer wasn't very encouraging. That gentle realization was the start of a new mindset for her. No guilt, no fear, just awareness. That's what we're aiming for today. Not to overhaul your lifestyle, but to bring kind awareness to something you may not have considered. Let's look at how this plays out in real lives. Alice, 76, started noticing swelling in her ankles and occasional shortness of breath by evening. At first, she thought it was just normal aging. But her doctor pointed to circulation issues caused by prolonged sitting. Janet, 70, was surprised to learn that her rising blood sugar levels weren't only about diet. She was eating healthy but sitting at her computer or in front of the TV for most of the day. Her doctor gently explained how sitting slows down insulin sensitivity, especially in older adults. Then there's Ron, 80, a former school teacher. Ron was always mentally sharp, but recently he found himself searching for words more often and losing his train of thought. It turned out his sedentary lifestyle was contributing to slower cognitive response. Once he introduced small movement breaks, just 5 minutes every hour, he began to feel clearer and more alert. These are not isolated cases. The connection between sedentary behavior and real-world health issues is becoming clearer with every new study. But here's the good news. Even small adjustments make a big difference. You don't have to run laps or buy expensive equipment. You just have to move a little more and sit a little less. Experts recommend what they call the 20-8-2 rule. For every 30 minutes, spend 20 sitting, 8 standing, and 2 walking or stretching. It's a simple rhythm that anyone can manage. Imagine standing up during TV commercials, walking in place while brushing your teeth, or pacing a bit while talking on the phone. These small moments add up. Alice began doing gentle leg lifts during her favorite soap opera. Janet set a timer to remind her to stretch once an hour. And Ron? He placed sticky notes around the house with one word: move. It's not about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom to keep living the life you love, with strength, clarity. You may be wondering, if sitting is so harmful, why does it feel so good? That's a fair question. The truth is, our bodies crave rest when they're tired, especially after decades of hard work, raising families, or dealing with illness or injury. After 65, comfort becomes a well-deserved friend. And rest isn't the enemy excessive stillness is. We've built homes that encourage sitting, recliners, soft couches, reading corners. Many hobbies after retirement, watching TV, sewing, puzzles, reading all involve being still. And that's okay. But when that stillness becomes the main rhythm of the day, it starts quietly working against us. It's like a faucet dripping slowly. One drop doesn't seem like much, but over time, it wears down the surface beneath it. Janet once said, "I didn't even realize how long I was sitting until I saw the imprint of my body on the cushion." It's not that we mean to sit for hours, it just happens. Here's something fascinating. Research suggests that our brains release feel-good chemicals like dopamine when we settle into comfort. So yes, your favorite chair really does feel like a reward. That's why changing this habit can be emotionally challenging. But change doesn't mean sacrifice. It means blending what feels good with what does good. If you love reading, try standing and reading a few pages by a window. If you enjoy knitting, stretch your arms and legs in between rows. Pair comfort with care. Paul, the golf lover we mentioned earlier, now does a few calf raises while brushing his teeth and stands during part of his phone calls. His energy has improved, and he says he feels more awake by midday. Movement doesn't need to be loud or exhausting. It can be gentle, graceful, and even joyful. And once it becomes part of your routine, it feels just as natural as sitting once did. Let's talk solutions, kind ones. Gentle shifts that work with your day, not against it. The goal is not to interrupt your peace, but to enhance it by building a rhythm of movement into your routine. Here are 5 thoughtful ways to begin. 1. Set gentle reminders. Use a soft chime on your phone or a gentle kitchen timer to go off every 30 to 40 minutes. When it does, just stand up, stretch, or walk around the room for a minute or two. 2. Create movement triggers. Attach movement to things you already do. For example, every time you finish a cup of tea, walk to the window. After reading a chapter, stand and sway side to side. Link your actions to your existing habits. 3. Redesign your space slightly. Put the remote a little farther from your chair. Keep books or snacks across the room. This encourages light movement naturally without you even thinking about it. 4. Join a gentle movement group. Consider a local walking group, Tai Chi class, or chair yoga session. Even virtual classes for seniors can offer safe, supported movement that also brings social joy. 5. Involve a friend or family member. Ask a loved one to join you. A phone call walk, a stretch session with a neighbor, or a shared commitment to move more can make it feel fun and meaningful. Alice and Irene began doing a 10-minute walk together every other morning. They call it their refresh stroll. Paul writes his movement into his daily planner. Janet has a little sticker on her fridge that simply says, "My body loves to move." No guilt, no pressure, just encouragement. These small shifts don't require a lifestyle overhaul, but they do add up to a healthier, more vibrant life. So, dear friend, let's return to where we began, with the idea that one small habit could be quietly shaping your health. Sitting, in and of itself, isn't bad. But sitting too long, too often, especially after 65, deserves a second look. This isn't about fear. It's about freedom. Freedom to walk without pain. Freedom to stay mentally sharp. Freedom to enjoy your hobbies, family, and independence for as long as possible. Ron, Irene, Alice, Janet, and Paul didn't make massive changes. They made thoughtful choices. They chose awareness over routine, care over comfort, and they found that movement didn't steal their peace, it strengthened it. So today, I gently invite you to pause and ask, how often do I move? If the answer is not much, that's okay. You're not behind. You're simply at a beginning. Start small. Start kind. But do start. Your body has carried you through a beautiful life. It deserves care. And you deserve the energy, strength, and clarity that come from simply standing up and taking one loving step at a time. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What small movement helps you feel alive? What changes are you planning to make? And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with someone you care about. Let's build a community where every senior feels supported, informed, and empowered. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, your next step could be the one that brings you back to vitality.